Hello everyone, I am John the Verbose. This is the YouTube Pagan Challenge for week 13 on Do You Use Divination? So disclaimer first, I am a Reformed Druid, though despite that I do not speak on behalf of all Druids, nor do I speak on behalf of all Reformed Druids. My views and opinions are my own, though others are welcome to share my opinion or disagree with them. Alright, diving right in. Okay, so if there was one Native American custom that has been passed down to me, it was ornithomancy, also known as augury. That is, seeing omens in the activities of birds. And particularly, as I was told, that if you have a bird of prey, like swoop in front of your path, like right in front of you, it's not at a distance, but right in front of you, that's an immediate bad omen. And so it indicates that you need to stop what you're doing, you need to change what you're doing, or just proceed with extra caution if you have to keep going, or whatever it is you're doing. And so that's that is the extent of the mysticism that has been passed to me. Second, I have tried psychometry, which is the act of touching something and trying to get some information from it. And that's really hit and miss for me. It's not one of my strong points, and so I really need practice on it, and I just don't do it a whole lot. Other silly or mundane types of divination would be alluromancy. That is seeking a hidden message in baked goods, and specifically something like a fortune cookie. So fortune cookie, that type of divination is called alluromancy. And so, for example, this one says, "Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned." And so that one, I mean, sometimes it's just, it doesn't make any sense, or you have the wrong fortune cookie, or it's just not you, or it's just dumb. And so sometimes you get some really cool ones. You take everything with a grain of salt, right? But there's another one somewhere under this table. Uh-oh. It is gone. Oh, here we go. I had an escaped form of divination. There's a form called myomancy, which is seeking omens in rodents, or specifically mice. And so my form is hamstermancy, where if I would do an indoor ritual, I would seek an omen by giving an offering. Like in my tradition of the Reformed Druids, you give an offering of plant material to nature. And so a domesticated rodent being the closest thing to indoor nature I had, I would give the plant matter to the hamster and see if she would accept it on behalf of the Earth Mother. So sometimes they do, and of course if they're not hungry, they might ignore it completely. So it's like, oh, it's an omen it's a bad omen. But of course we interpret things very subjectively, especially when it comes to hamstermancy. Moving on, so that is specifically it is a specific form of zoomancy, which is also something that I do as a Reformed Druid in general, is where you're observing the behavioral patterns of any kind of animal, really. And then before me on the table, I have tried Norse runes before. I found them to be very effective, but they're not my thing. So here I have Blum's deck of rune cards. This one's Udur's. Sorry if the hamster's crawling near the microphone. But I mean, then again, like, they were great, but not really for me as a druid. And so the next form that I have here, which are glagolitic runes, they're also not druidic, but it's a system that I developed myself that is based on the glagolitic alphabet that Saint Kirill invented in the 9th century. So This is the precursor to the Russian alphabet, or the Cyrillic alphabet of the Russians use in other Slavic countries. And so these ones, there are only 30 of them that I made because I found that there are over 40 letters of the Glagolitic alphabet, and some of them are just variations on themselves, and like very slight variations. And I was like, okay, let's find common denominators and go with it, especially since I'm making it up. But I even made a book, since one of my hobbies is bookbinding, on how to interpret them. And so this is all like hand calligraphy for each of the interpretations. And the interpretations are based on the meaning of the names that are assigned to the symbols. And the hamster's getting away. Also, when I was at PaganCon, I bought the guinea pigs are weaking, I'm sorry. I bought the Celtic Tree Oracle deck, which is something I've wanted to dabble in for some time. So I've been reading through the book and dabbling, essentially. So far, it's fun. There's a lot of learning involved in that. And then I also had my first tarot reading at PaganCon. Tarot's not really my thing, but also, I think it was Lupa Greenwolf was going around giving quick one-card mini readings, and so I drew the Fool, which is perfect for me, especially for its in-depth meaning. And she let us keep the cards, so I think that's pretty cool. I also got this Obsidian Sphere, so this is really cool, and the Obsidian Sphere has made its way into Reformed Druid lore, and so there are several reasons behind my acquisition of this item. In the Reformed Druid tradition, aeromancy and ostromancy are very commonly used, especially in ritual. Aeromancy is seeking an omen on the winds, and no, that's ostromancy, AUSTRO. Ostromancy is seeking an omen on the winds. Aeromancy is seeking an omen in the element of air in general. So for me, that encompasses nature sounds as well. Also, in Reformed Druid tradition at Samhain, pyromancy is very important. So it's important to seek omens in fire scrying. That's also a recommended part of the rite of passage to entering the priesthood. And then also one of the things that Reformed Druids had done, particularly on their first Samhain, was molybdomancy, which is scrying in molten lead castings. I have not done that. I don't particularly care to ever do that. But it sounds interesting and sounds fun. And so it's just, maybe I'll try it with like pewter or solder someday, but not lead for obvious reasons. So that is the type of divination that I do, or have dabbled with, or am beginning to dabble in, or have other nefarious purposes for. So nefarious being a tongue-in-cheek word in the sense that I'm using it. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.